Warm evening to all of you from Unnat Bharat Abhiyan program, IIT Madras, and welcome to the webinar on lifestyle for environment, living Udan, an activity of C20 G20. Today we have with us Sri N. Ramakrishnan, a postgraduate in mechanical engineering who worked in reputed companies like BHEL, CMC, Sonata, and Indus USA as an IT professional. After his retirement, he engrossed into social work, waste management, gardening, and got engaged in creating awareness about the same. He has conducted awareness campaigns in over 350 educational institutions, exhibitions, and companies. He has also started various groups for spreading better waste management practices. He is currently president of OBWA for 50 luxury apartments. I would like to now welcome Sri N. Ramakrishnan to share his real-time experiences with all of us here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bindu. Thank you, Sudha. Thank you, Professor Indamati. Thank you, Mr. Kannan, for helping me to set up this connection so that I could reach more people. In fact, the last 2 years, because of COVID, we would have done over about 100 Zoom sessions or Google Talk, and that's the best way we can get connected to people throughout India. And even we had a session in Dubai about a year back on this waste management and gardening and so on. So the current topic now is global warming, and people are trying all their best to control pollution, to control carbon emission, then to improve the greenery. For example, you find a lot of people planting trees, and initiatives is taken right from school level. So I have shared the screen, and let me go with the first slide. See, I moved to Bangalore around in fact, I came to Bangalore in 1962, and my sister got married. And I have shown this slide. You can see the greenery in Bangalore in 1973, and how gradually that greenery went off, and then you can see a lot of red in 1992, the 1993, and you see the last picture I have is 2006, where almost it's 50% of the land occupied by concrete jungle. So in this map, the red color is built up, and green color is vegetation, and blue color is water bodies, and yellow color is others. Okay, so you find that gradually the vegetation has reduced, red has increased, and water bodies has come down. In fact, around 1987, I got transferred from Chennai to Bangalore, and I was a consultant to a place called Bangalore Development Authority. That time there were about 140 lakes, and now today I see only 49 lakes. Imagine, you find that all those lake areas where they dried because of the global warming and sun, and they all filled up soil, mud, and so on, and you find a lot of apartments coming there. So what this resulted is reduced greenery. There is a big shortage for vegetables, fresh vegetables. People got more into putting pesticides and chemicals, and then if you want to get good vegetables and all, most of them are coming from Tamil Nadu, and then they are sold in Bangalore. Okay, that is the state of Bangalore. And so what I wanted to highlight in this slide is the greenery has gone, and if this continues, it is going to be a big problem. So with this, in fact, I retired in 2012, and then I took up this gardening. But I used to love gardening, and when I used to stay in Chennai, and I used to sell drumstick at 5 paise, and we have a big house which is about 6,000 square foot, and every production I used to sell them and then make some money. So the objective, I started with a group of about 20 people, with about 5-6 doctors who were very keen on health education, and a few engineers, and then a few government officials, including politicians. So we came out with a couple of groups, and the objective was to introduce gardening to people And Bangalore used to produce about 6,000 tons of waste, which is consist of we call it as wet waste, and then dry waste, and medical waste, and then e-waste. Okay, so this became a big problem. So what they have, what that about very close to about 60%, 4,000 tons were all vegetable waste, and they used to move them all to remote places of Bangalore and dump them into some small villages where there are very few people. So this resulted, you find that a lot of garbage getting dumped in nearby villages, and pollution increased in that day. People started getting health problem near that village. So a couple of there's a place called Mavelipura, and then there's a place called Mandur. I visited all those places, saw the pathetic condition of the Indians living there, and the water used to pass through that garbage, and then that water goes to a small lake, and people used to drink that water. So I felt all these things are too bad, and so the objective of our group was to talk about waste segregation and then composting, so that we can make use of the compost in your garden. So as I told you in the beginning, the greenery is going down, and the travel by car to Chennai to Bangalore, it will be so nice, and you'll see a lot of greenery, trees on the both sides, particularly near that Jolarpet, all those. You will find a lot of trees those days. So we used to drive down in 1962 and 1970 and so on. Then gradually, the trees were all cut and the roads got widened, and then every small towns got developed into a big town and so on. So tree planting in the backyard. So if you have a small place, even you can have a small tree, and then we started developing tree planting in the community, and then school and urban areas. So what our job is, if we are able to get some small sapling of a tree, like even simple like name tree, we used to collect lot of what is that name seeds, and then put in a simple coconut shell. And I used to tell the people, no, whenever you go in the car, take them and please plant them in the remote places, so that one day, they'll all, with the rain, they will all grow very well, and with the sunlight, they will grow very well, and no need for any maintenance and so on. Now you find that everywhere, the what is called as Bisleri bottles are used. It is very easy to, every shop is selling that maybe half liter can or 250 ml can, and this plastic bottle became very high, and the usage, particularly in marriages and parties, and then even in meetings, because they don't want to go back to the old tradition of using a stainless steel and then pouring water from a jug. So I started this anti-plastic campaign, and the next one is what is called a street adoption, to spread awareness. We started going along with the my team door to door, and started meeting people with tell them about the importance of the waste segregation, and I used to tell them so many other value additions, so that no, they don't they strictly follow all that. So this is called a street adoption. So I used to take care of my seventh cross, all the houses there, and then now I have moved to a place called what is that OBW, One Bangalore West Apartment Owners Association. I am the current president. Here there are about 800 apartments, and in my right now about 500 apartments are occupied. And my job is to tell the people, please segregate waste, do not use plastic, and do not litter any waste on the road or the playground or the community halls and so on. So there are about 100 doctors here, and they were all cooperating with me very well. So the awareness is picking up, and the children who study from various schools, they carry the same point to their schools and colleges or medical college or engineering college. So the next one is the e-waste. It could be a old laptop, or it could be a old mobile phone, or it could be a cable, or it could be a worn-out bulb, tube light, ordinary bulb. So I sort of develop connections with few volunteers who do this e-waste collection, and there's a factory who try to recycle, rather what cannibalize those. For example, yeah, the computer, they will separate the motherboard and some of the transistors. No, they try to use the parts which are usable there. Others, they will all continue to be a scrap. Then plastic bottle collection, and is what we started doing is the Bisleri bottle. We used to tell the people, do not crush them and throw, keep them. Okay, see whether you can cut it out and make a small, grow a small plant. And something like a medical waste like this, when you use this medicines, those strips, uh, what is that, plastic or aluminum foil, all those things. No, we used to cut and put it in the Bisleri bottle, and we managed to collect about 40,000-50,000 bottles. And we moved to a remote village, and we started constructing a wall with that plastic bottle. It's a plastic bottle wall, which is more like a fence for a small hut. Okay, so I found even that plastic bottle, which will not get damaged in the next few years, started. I found some usefulness for that. Educate. I felt the India future, like Abdul Kalam said, his future is in the hands of children, youth, and college students. So we stayed. We started concentrating on educating the children and youth at home and schools, colleges, and we go to parks for a walk in the morning, and my volunteers come with they come with a demo of some composting kit, and just we have a portable table. Okay, we suddenly call all the people walkers. There'll be about 200 people, and they used to listen peacefully, and they talk to us how to do this waste, what do you do with that, okay, what to do with the compost. So we started doing that, okay, waste segregation classes, and then we started teaching gardening, and they used to ask immediately the next question: where do I get the ceramic pot, or where do I get the grow bag, where do I get the seeds, where do I get the custom compost, and so on. Okay, so the ultimately I found the places where people come in mass. Okay, okay, they come in parks, and then let us take a marriage hall also. So I used to tell the I used to tell the marriage, whoever is the parent of the bride or bridegroom, if there is a music party or something, give me 5 minutes on the microphone, so that I take that chance to educate the people. Do not waste food. Do not throw the Bistari bottles. Please reduce your waste. So a lot of people I got connected with in the marriages, through marriages. Some of them used to take my mobile phones, and then some of them used to message me in the email ID and so on. So I felt the only way to reach more people, we cannot cover all the 140 crores of India, but use the communication media like Facebook, Instagram, and or emails, and uh, opportunities like parks, exhibitions, and reach more people and convey the same objective: save water, rainwater harvesting, and so on. So what I did was about I think should be 2012. I created a group called Hasirina Harikararu. This is basically, it says Green Messenger in Kannada. And one park where I used to walk in the morning is the Siddhapaji Park. It's about 10-15 acres. And in my area, there are about 8-9 parks. One park has lots of trees where plenty of leaves will be falling, and we used to collect them and then put them in the what is that, any available bag or plastic bag, and then we take a lorry on hire, take them, and then go to a nearby area where the trees are planted and use those leaves for mulching, so that the entire heat is getting absorbed by those leaves. And when the rain when the during rains, the leaves, they decompose and then become a good fertilizer for the trees. See, OBW is One Bangalore West Association, Apartment Owners Association, where I'm the president, and it's um, run by a committee of 11 people, and we educate the same thing. We have a room called OWC, Organic Waste Converter, where there is a shredder. I will show you all the photograph, and there are some tall boy composters, about 70, where the compost is stored for some time, and the compost is given to people for gardening or used in our landscaping of the apartment. Then there is another group called Hasrina Arikararu Swayam Sevakaru. We help people in developing the garden or in conducting awareness. We give them all the necessary slides. We tell them, for example, a college teacher may say, I would like to conduct a class for my students. We help them with all the material and we get it back after the session is over. So another group is working on anti-plastic. We educate, please refuse plastic, do not take any plastic, and so on. And park adoption, we go to different parks. We try to we have volunteers about 40, 50 people, and then we try to clean the park, to plant some beautiful flower trees, and then if possible, if the water is not there, we used to carry whatever, maybe 5 liters or 10-liter water, pour a bit of 500 ml water to all those plants. And generally, all these spas, they have a huge budget, maybe 2 lakhs or 20 lakhs. We found that in Bangalore, they were not properly spent. So we are giving a helping hand for green development in the park. In fact, there is a park in Bangalore cantonment for one of the meetings. The MLA allocated one portion of the park only for setting up a small garden for us, and it came out very well. And so, as I told you, the team is a mixture of eminent doctors, professors, and retired enthusiasts. See, many people um, started liking this teaching many people about this green initiatives or gardening, composting, and they really, virtually they felt they one way of relaxing is through teaching, and another place where the the I took a class was is for very terminally ill people where they started growing good pollock and okay, so pollock and all those green vegetables, and they started making nice salads by themselves, and we found that they become somewhat healthy. So this was a message was given by the doctor, and I felt very happy. So practice in the recent past. 1 minute. So practices in the recent past, walking to work. So today, what happened is people use two-wheelers, cars, and so on. And best is if it is couple of kilometers, no, you can use that opportunity. You can take a walk or use a public transport. Why this? No, suppose if there are, let us take a company like Infosys or Wipro, where I find that many people from the same area are taking different cars and going alone. And then I said, why can't you create a WhatsApp group? And they started going in four in one car and so on. Then afterwards, the BMTC introduced Volvo buses, and then see the people they started using the Volvo buses. So this is the way, no, I felt that maybe about instead of 60 cars today, one Volvo buses carry the same people. And the other advantage is the 60 Indians, the nice computer professionals, they started interacting with each other, started knowing about each other. Some good practices were getting exchanged from one company to other company, and so on. Why can't in those days? I think maybe in the year 1970, I used to cycle from a place called Mylapore in Chennai and then to Gindi Engineering College. It's about should be about 7-8 kilometers, and all six of us used to go by cycle. Otherwise, no, we used to walk up to the water tank and then take a bus called 5B and go by bus. Okay, later on, after some time, maybe fourth year or something, we bought a two-wheeler. But I always used to pick up another friend, and we both used to share the petrol. And so the use of cycle, virtually, the once you start using that and stop using the car, the to that extent the pollution is reduced, and particularly during the COVID, no, I could see a lot of mountains from my home, whereas the same thing were not seen during the non-COVID period. A world without mobile phones and digital equipments. Imagine. Okay. should be about. I have never seen a computer till I entered my engineering college. That was a very old IBM 1401. I think it's where we used to punch cards and then put them. Okay. So then later on, this Intel came with 8086, 286, 386, and so on. And later on, the laptops came, then remote terminals came, and then mobile phone came. Today, everything is on iPhone or Android. And then so many TV. TV came later. I used to watch everything in black and white TV. And then today, we have so many gadgets, so many companies like Sony selling so many of their products. And what is the result of the last 5 years? So much of e-waste is getting dumped. And if you go to the person who is buying the scrap, he has more of e-waste than the newspaper and books and so on. Books all started coming in e-form. There is a e-book. Even schools, I was told that the digital education is going to be becoming popular in the next couple of years, and all schools will adapt to that. And the olden days, if I had to go to a market, then I used to carry a cloth bag, which is maybe only a small bag to take the tomato, and then there is a big bag to carry potato and onion, that type of stuff. So we always, you'll find that generally the people carrying one bag whenever they go out, because on the way if they see something which is quite cheap, they can buy it and then come back in the carry with that bag. And if you take a hotel, what happens is we used to take one vessel, one bag, and then to take the parcel. The parcel, the idlis, vadas, and dosas will be packed in either plantain leaf. There is another plant leaf which will be used for packing, and then small thread will be used for tying, and then they used to be put in the cloth bag, and there'll be a vessel to carry the sambar. There'll be a vessel to carry chutney. Or if you don't carry sambar, they don't give you sambar. You have to they pack that chutney and then give you. So the thing is, the problem is when you come back, you have to wash all those vessels. That's the only thing. But the waste generated by carrying that hotel stuff gets composted in your home or by the corporation. Old clothes reused or gifted to needy. So we used to collect old, or particularly some of my old dresses. Whenever my relatives come from Kerala, Karnataka, and to Chennai, and any small shirt like terylene or terracotta, once it becomes tight to me, will be carried to my cousin, who will be a couple of years younger to me, and he will pass it on to his mother, and so on. So the old cloth is generally used till it becomes bad. And even if it becomes bad, for example, a pant will be cut and then made as a carry bag. No food wastage at home. There were no fridges those days. We tried to cook as correctly as possible. We finish them. Otherwise, most probably the rice may be extra, and that will be we used to put water and take them as next day as curd rice. Surplus food at temples. Now today, see, every temple started giving this prasadam, and okay, and some temples they used to give one what is called as annadana, and they used to give food, and people sit on the table or floor and have a good food. So that generally you find that because it's a free food, people they dump in a hurry. When there are thousands of pilgrims have to eat, they serve very fast, and you find a lot of spoilage. And then people also may not eat the sweet and throw, or eat half sweet and throw half sweet, and all those waste will be dumped to a place, and which will attract lots of rats. And to eat the rat, there will be another snake, and this is the way the things go on. So the only solution is we used to tell all the temples that why can't you compose? Okay, you decorate the god with so many garlands. It could be roses or it could be jasmine. Please put them in a separate container. There is something called a flower composter, and you will all definitely after maybe if you add a bit of microbe and a little water, after about a month, you get an excellent compost which can be used as a good manure. So surplus food at temples, marriages were distributed to the poor. Today, after the marriage, after the most of the people finish their dinner or lunch, I found that a few orphanages with their vehicle, they come and take the balanced food and it is distributed to the poor. In fact, I have even seen directed many people to carry them near the railway station where a lot of people will be sleeping on the platform, and I have done that many times. So all these things you need see the blessing of the politicians. Today, the India is managed by our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and then the state is managed by the our Siddaramaiah, the Chief Minister, and then he is helped by many MLAs. You can see the photo, Mr. MLA Suresh Kumar. I used to enjoy my organic tomatoes from my home, and I used to have with my team almost every month a review meeting with him how best we can help me. And he himself is a gardener, and he has a farm where mangoes are grown. And he used to take a lot of tips how to get rid of the pest and so on. And he used to visit. I used to tell him once a month you should come to one of the parks. We should meet the people, take their feedback. That somebody may say, I didn't get Aadhaar card. People share their grievances to him and used to solve them and so on. So the park, what happens is that, as I told you, we have a park called Tree Park where there are over about 700 trees, very tall trees, and shed lot of their dry leaves. So what I suggested was we made a proposal that to install a shredder. So all those leaves, I told you that we used to carry in a lorry and dump them in a place where the trees are grown as a mulching media. Now today, the installation of shredder and composter. So the shredder, what it does is maybe if there is a 10 kg of dry leaf, it makes it about very close to 1 kg powder. Okay, it is like you use a mixie or something like no, you have a cutting machine. So the sizes of that leaves are reduced, and then it is easily getting composted in the composters. So the thing is, it totally prevents the leaves getting burned by the people, and otherwise there is no place because they expect the BBMP to take all those leaves and then dump them at some other place. So the totally we have avoided the leaf burning, and the leaves are getting converted into useful manure. So there is a park called Tree Park, and there is another park called UVCE Park and Siddhapathi Park. Due to COVID, took a back seat. I could not do many things because there was total lockdown. People could not do much work, but the leaves got started piling up. So we have to really contribute everyone about 100 200 rupees. We engaged some lorry and we took them to another place. More, it's not. I won't say it's a forest where dumped all the leaves and through some microbes and water, they started composting. And also, the Hasirna Adhikaru I became the members became consultant in various bodies like government and public sector companies and IT companies, and they started particularly on Saturday they started having devoting about an hour on the green initiatives by the employees. So this is an example where the MLA, where all the people are meeting the MLA. My volunteers are seen with a green shirt, and so you can see the greenery there. And see the common issues faced by the people were conveyed to the MLA, and also it is became like a more like a grievance meeting. So the same. This is called street adoption, where the MLA works with our green volunteers and then meets the people door to door. And he may know a couple of because he's a MLA last 24 years here, and he can even recall the name of that resident and used to sometimes now say, "How are you? And do you have any issues?" Somebody may say there is a traffic, you need a speed breaker, or somebody may say you need to have a some tree so that there is a shade is available. This is another park. I felt, as I told you, my group meets only in parks. We fixed up every second Saturday 4 p.m. Shankarmat Park, every third Saturday another park, and so on, where the people all meet. And then when the moment you see 40, 50 people crowding, other people started coming, and then they started inquiring what is happening. They started joining our group. This is a shredder where one of my MC member, uh, where the secretary and assistant secretary, this is a shredder. which does the excellent job, very fast shredder. You dump some 10 kg in about a minute, you will get 1 kg of, it could be leaf or it could be a vegetable waste. So what we do in all our apartments, about 9 o'clock, every apartment keeps their wet waste outside their apartment. Yeah, a housekeeping person goes to various floors. We have about 30 floors here, and then 8 to 8:30 collects in the first round all the wet waste, and all the wet waste will come here, and along with we have some dry material like cocoa peat and dry leaves. They will be mixed and then fed to this shredder, and they will be the resultant will be stored in the composter. So there's an example, a small composter which I do it in my home is a plastic, basically a plastic bucket, which is about 25 liters with lot of holes and lid to close so that no cockroach and all will run. This is called aerobic composting. This is another on the left side. You will see it is a product from a company called Daily Dump. It's basically a mud pot where mud pot is somewhat porous and the composting, aerobic composting happens very fast. The below you have another 150-liter drum where the similar principle, it has a lid, lot of holes are made with a drill and the same wet waste is kept there. And what we do is we add some panchagavya or we add a bit of cow dung slurry or the sour buttermilk, 1 spoon we add, and becomes a microbe, and the entire vegetable waste gets composted. So below you will see there is a place called RMB second stage. We call it as Dollars Colony, where in a street this tall composter is kept, where yeah, about 10 to 15 streets vegetable waste is collected and then dumped here, and then the bottom of that machine you get the compost. So all you can see the photo of all the volunteers. One of the big, well, there is the house behind that is a doctor's house. He said, "I give my place. I don't have any problem. Please install a composter here." Like that, what you need is you need a lot of composters at every point so that no the wet waste collected from various houses can be dumped into the composter, and there is no need for a corporation lorry to come home, collect them, and then dump them to a remote village. The another important point is today, the next thing is the sustainability. We used to go for more solar energy. Okay. So for example, lot of common lighting in our apartment is all through solar panels installed on top of our terrace. There are about 227 panels and about 65 kilowatts of electricity is generated. And there is a concept called net metering. Okay, so where we use Bescom minimum so that we use maximum solar power. When Bescom is not there, the solar power becomes more like an emergency light. The net metering, garden lights implementation. We also use the solar principle to put garden lights in a few parts, and street lights a similar thing. And there are some solar operated pump sets used by farmers, and there are some solar power plant. You can generate power from your home, say for about maybe 5 kilowatt, and supply to nearby houses through the uh, 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 Bescom or whatever is that electricity board. See, also this biogas can be used by for as a fuel. You can there are some stoves available where the biogas generated can be used as a burner. So we started giving that to hostels where the vegetable waste used as a fuel, and then the stove is used for cooking the hostel food. Many schools started calling us, so we used to do about 1 or 2 sessions per month in various schools. About they have a big auditorium, and my team members we talk about rainwater harvesting and composting and gardening. So there are some schools like sample schools are the NPS Rajajinagar, BGS World School, Purna Pragna, Himanshu, Bashveshwara School, and the Polytechnic. There are some more, over about 300 institutions we have done. I don't have the complete list here. So there's an example. This is called as a seed ball. Basically, we tell the students during that note to make a seed ball. We carry some cow dung. We carry a seed. We make them do a seed ball. So what we used to do is we used to tell them carry the seed ball to when you go on tour to another place and throw them on the roadside, so that no, because of the rain or something, a tree will grow, and you will find many roads without trees will become trees after a few years. Children awareness. So we used to conduct children gardening shop where we get children below 15 years and educate them whichever way possible. We give them small saplings and they started growing trees. This is a place where is a temple where during Vaikunta Ekadasi, about 40-50,000 people used to come from morning 6 or rather 5 o'clock till night 11 o'clock. We used to take turns, explain to people the importance of waste segregation, gardening, and composting. This is another club, a ladies club, where they do a lot of cracking jokes and all. We used to barge in there and we used to tell them about gardening, composting, and rainwater harvesting. This is another resident welfare association where they took us by a nice car, gave us good lunch, and they asked us to talk about to all the residents the importance of gardening. So this is a simple apartment balcony here. Here I used to grow brinjal. I used to grow tomatoes, and you can see the small curry leaves. This is good enough. Like that, I have 4 balconies where it may meet about 20% of my vegetable needs. And advantage is all this 20% production is chemical free, fully organic production. This is a place, I think this article came in Better India and in Malayalam, Hindi, so many languages they were printed. Many people call me how to do this rainwater harvesting and solar. And what I do, the entire rain water gets collected in this water tank, which is about 750 liters. And I have a pipe which goes from this for watering. If the water is about to overflow, I just open the tap so that the water from this tank gets collected in the ground and it is given back to the soil. E-waste solutions, old batteries, mobiles, bulbs, laptop, TV monitor, washing machine, other electronic, all are collected and given to an agency called Sahas E-Waste. And I tied up with another person by name Selvin who collects e-waste and then sends it to various bodies. This is an example of the e-waste box at another place where people dump all their batteries. Even though it could be just 2 cells which you are using in your torch, they used to drop it here. So that is there in my apartment in various places. Most important thing is wedding. See, today we start with an invitation, printing some invitation by spending 50 rupees, 100 rupees, and okay. And after that event is over, that the invitation is wasted. So we started sending, telling people have a nice e-invitation, design it well, and have a page in the YouTube or something like that, so that you can relay the marriage. And we started educating people on conducting the zero waste wedding. No mineral water, plastic bottles. This will be told very clearly to the catering contractor not to use them. And please use steel tumblers. In fact, I used to carry steel tumbler, one plate and one spoon. Wherever I go, I used to eat in the plate only, and I used to wash them and bring them back. It may look funny, but most of my volunteers, we used to carry them. Avoid plastic covers, particularly when they give this tambulam. Okay, they put some plastic cover and give it. And many people started using jute bags with like a complimentary, and then those jute bags or cloth bags are getting used. And after washing the hands, you instead of they providing a towel, they started providing tissue paper. You find mystery bottles and tissue paper getting dumped everywhere. Conduct marriages like the earlier style, earlier days, okay, where there'll be a catering contractor used to come previous day, cut the vegetables, cook, plantain leaf will be served, there'll be a stainless steel tumbler will be kept, one person will be pouring the water. We should get back to those old things. After all the dinner, the lunch and all is over, that is fed to a cow or something which will eat along with the plantain leaf, the leftover food. So I will come to the last part of my session, what you can do. You can do leaf composting wherever possible. Aerobic composting, there are different types of composting. One is aerobic composting, where the air helps the wet waste to get decomposed in about 45 days. The next composting is called vermicomposting, where you put the vegetable waste and the earthworms, they play a very important role. In about 10 days, you get a good vermicompost. And what we have found as a gardener is the vermicompost gets absorbed very fast and by the plant, and the aerobic compost takes it's a more like a slow nutrition. Bokashi composting is something promoted by Japan, and this is another way where you dump everything in a closed container and then use the juice like a fertilizer for your plants, and then after about maybe about 15 days, take that solid and do aerobic composting. We also suggest you all can start growing plants at your home, whether whatever be the place, window walls or walls between you and your neighboring house, balcony, and terrace. There is some more technology called hydroponics where we make use of water, uh, and then you can store. You need not have a what is that ground in your home to grow vegetables. You can go for hydroponics, and some of you may have aquarium at home. You can try even aquaponics where the plants are grown on top of the aquarium, and fish water. The nutrition from the fish water is taken by the plants. So the objective is we reduce carbon footprint, and we should always reduce wastage. It could be any form of wastage, whether wastage of food or wasting of any material, useful material. Try to reuse. Like I told, you can use the dresses. We can give it in an orphanage or old age home, blankets, bed sheets, and so on. A bisleri bottle can be cut, and can it be used for growing a small plant? If you go to a place, if he's going to pack your sambar in a plastic container, simply say refuse. Please, you better I'll get a container, use it. It is easy for them to pack and keep it ready, but let him take more time and use your container. This is more hygienic and waste reduction technique. Water is going to be very, the drinking water resource is very close to 3% now, and we have to conserve water, see how best we can save water in terms of rainwater harvesting. Okay, and then it is for the future. For example, how to save water. While cleaning the teeth, we leave the tap open and we brush the teeth, water will go on pouring. Use a mug. Bath in minimum water, maybe about a bucket of water or 2 buckets, and then make. Otherwise, don't. Some people used to put the shower. Particularly, as an example, my son goes to the it takes about half an hour. I don't know how many liters of water is getting wasted. Wastewater for plants. For example, you wash your rice, you wash your grinding machine with water. All those water contains lot of nutrition. Use them for plants. The same way, washing machine water. Okay, because of the chemicals and all. If it is diverted to a tree like coconut tree, there is no problem. But you cannot use them for the plants. The same way, RO water like Kent and all, they waste lot of water. They can be used. In every apartment, there is what is called as a sewage treatment plant. So what happens is all the water in your toilet, bathroom, it gets treated and they are recycled back to the bathroom. So virtually, we add very less water every day, and the water consumption by the residents are reduced to the tune of 30-40%. And we collect this rainwater into a tank, and we have about 1,200 cars here, and the car washing is done by the rainwater. So I would like to stop here. If there are any questions, I would like to take them up.
Thank you, sir. That was a well-rounded talk. We have connected all the dots of sustainability, right from composting, age-old techniques of on how to cut down plastics, uh, seed balls, e-waste collection, and so on and so forth. So we have a couple of questions here from Professor Indumati. Unfortunately, she has to drop this call for another meeting. One question is, who is the supplier of large-scale community composters?
There are about, if you Google, you will get something like a Orbian composter. There is some small size daily dump is there, and they are all about should be good for communities. There are many agents in it's all available in almost most parts of India. You just
Yeah.
say organic composter, you'll get a big list. Find out somebody whoever is nearby, but these are the popular ones.
Have you tried any one of them at your community?
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
community.
Arbin Composter. I have the one I showed you is an Arbin Composter. It's a Bangalore-based company.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
And the other
see,
question she
my
has.
suggestion is you should, if you are going, it is something like whether you want to do composting at home level or community level. If it is manage with a even simple plastic bucket with holes, or you can buy a daily dump kamba. Okay, there's a site called Daily Dump where you
Mhm.
can all these products are delivered through Amazon and other channels. So you can buy them and start composting in your balcony. Otherwise, you can go for a if it is for a street level, you can go for Arbin composter or some other composter.
Okay. And the other question she has was distribution of leftover food from hostels are not permitted due to FSSAI regulations due to doubts on food quality. How are you doing with the food waste from marriage halls and other occasions?
Yeah, see, we near the chowdhury, there is a chowdhury. Most of them they have these composters now, so they buy this cocoa peat from the market and they compost in the chowdhury itself. All the leftover food,
Okay.
not the leftover food, the waste food.
Okay. The other question I had on my mind was many of the municipalities follow the same rule of source segregation, door-to-door collection, but they're not able to meet the standards.
Yeah.
So how are you able to meet these standards with the large communities following up with? How do you ensure that they source, segregate everything,
See,
pinpoint, all of them?
see, the
My
waste is
internet.
segregated as wet waste, dry waste, e-waste, and then sanitary or medical waste. We have got different covers. The yellow cover, which people have to buy, which is about 2 rupees, where they put diapers, sanitary pads, and medical leftover medicines. And the yellow cover is given to an agency for incineration. Okay, and wet waste is cleared 2 times, and it is going to our composter. Dry waste will be collected on alternate days. We have a big bag given to every house, and then we collect all the dry waste, sort them out, and there is a waste vendor who comes and picks up all this waste at a price, and that is a revenue to the association. That's the way dry waste. E-waste happens once a month, where we have a big box, and there's an agency called Sahas. They come in their three-wheeler, I mean the tempo traveler or whatever is that, and they collected, they measure, and they give a certificate. It will be 150 kg or 200 kg, and so this way all the 4 types of waste are getting moved to the respective areas. Either it is composted or given to a dry waste collector or given to a e-waste collector or a company which is doing incineration. So all the 4 are taken care. And
How
one
does
more
this?
thing. Now, one more thing. See, what you do if there is any problem with an apartment, if they start waste, one of the senior members will go and tell them, please, they will say, if you do like this, we will not collect the waste. Then you take care of your own way of disposing the waste. So we used to tell them through a soft copy, the following apartments has to cooperate in waste segregation. So virtually it became zero. It took about 4 to 6 months to stabilize, but it has now stabilized 100%.
Yeah, good to hear that, sir. The other question I had on mind was you were saying you were generating some income by selling off the dry waste that is collected.
Yeah.
How does this model work? Are you able to make profit from it, or is it sustainable enough to manage the whole waste collection and sorting process?
No, the investment of the composters and all, no. For example, the compost today, a good compost is sold at 25 rupees per kg in the market. Okay. So our bag is about 10 kg. We used to sell at 100 rupees. So every month we used to get about about 15,000-20,000 rupees as return. And we spend that money in terms of disposing the medical waste. And once again, the dry waste, we get some income. It is not like a profit and a loss type of thing, but our sincere attempt for a sustainable living. We don't want waste to go to a dumping yard.
Yeah. I have a follow-up question for that. So, who are the buyers of this compost you are making in this era of Amazon, Flipkart?
No, not that type of thing. See, there are so many people, nearby gardeners. They all know. They all take this compost. For example, if you see my car dicky, there will be 5 bags of compost always. So when I go to our travel, I tell them through WhatsApp, I'm coming there. They pick it up from me. Because basic thing is they can't come, they can't carry in an auto. So they have to spend for that. So I will see that it is reached at there's some without when I have some work area. Okay. Otherwise, no, we use a tempo where all the bags are dumped. He goes to a park where all gardeners, as I told you, they meet in the second week or third week. So they collect all the composting material or they buy cocoa peat. All the vendors come to that park on that day. One vendor sells the Panchagavya, which is a manure for the plants. So they all make good business on that day.
I think I had a valuable takeaway from this session. I hope rest of us enjoyed this session too. Sudha, do you have any questions for Doctor?
Yeah, I had two
email ID from
questions.
Sudha.
Yeah. Sir, it was wonderful talk, and I hope your webinar will inspire many societies and welfare associations to take up such initiatives. Actually, we found very creative and new ways. Like I have heard of welfare associations taking up environmental management things within the society, but your new initiatives were like going to parks, adopting parks, and then you are meeting in each and every park, and you are spending time in creating awareness through which your environmental sustainable ways are not restricting to only your association. You are trying to spread it across. That's a very creative initiative, actually. This is the first time I have come across such initiative, like street adoption, park adoption, and you are going to temples during the festivals, and while distributing the prasadam, you are making them aware of environmental things and reduction of waste. So these are some of the
right. See,
these are some of the
religious right.
Right. These are some of the unique. I mean, I have never come across such new ideas of creating awareness. Actually.
Yeah, correct.
That's very. Those were very interesting for me. And then I just had one question or two questions rather interlinked. What were the challenges you faced when in the initial stages? Like you said, you have started. After your retirement in your apartment thing, you have started it, right? What were the challenges you faced? Like if I have to, or Bindu or someone who is watching.
Yeah. See, first thing is they always reluctance to change. If you are using Bisleri bottle, it could be composting or it could be gardening. When I can get the market from the Amazon's fresh vegetables, okay, which are about 7 days old, why I should do gardening? Okay, so like that, the reluctance to change is the first resistance I had. Number two, the money involved in the investment. For example, if I buy vegetables, for example, tomato, maybe 10 rupees per kg. But to develop maybe I need about 5 pots or 10 grow bags to get the tomato on a continuous basis. I have to spend maybe about 500 rupees. So people were not prepared to make that investment. Financial constraints, and then other one constraint. I have no time. I'm a working person. I cannot do composting. I just dump them on the road, or I just leave them out. Let somebody take it. This is the basic time, money, and then reluctance to change.
Hello?
Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, I
So
tell you
slowly,
yeah. See, I don't have place. See, you have a simple hydroponic setup. You can grow a couple of plants at home. Your children will learn it. So, like anything is possible. So, if you are able to live in a small house, which may be 500 square foot, the same family can live in a house with 5,000 square foot also. So, but we should have, that objectives of all whatever you are going to have in 5,000 square foot. If you are able to achieve in 500 square foot, it is very great.
yeah, right, sir. I think, yeah, I have a question. 1 second, sir. We have a question from
Yeah.
the audience. Who funded the purchase and installation of the shredder? Is it for only one society or the entire lane?
No.
So
See, for example, in the park, it is funded by the government. Okay. And in this society, we pay what is called as a common area maintenance, where every month we pay some charge. That money is used for buying. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But government, every government, no, they have some budget for parks and what is that? Solid waste management. Like you have a professor, there is a solid waste management group in every corporation. They particularly a place like Indore, they have gone high. They are the first people who do composting, maybe about 10, 15 years before. Like that, every city has become very aware of this green initiatives.
Okay, sir.
So I take this opportunity to thank all of you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Keep in touch.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot for sharing your experiences for our audience, and then it was a great session for us, educative and informative. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much,
Namaste.
everybody who has joined the webinar.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Sir, if any of our audience would like to reach out to you for any assistance, may I know what is the channel that you would prefer?
I prefer email.
Okay.
Okay. I'll message the.
Sudha can communicate to all of you the email address of Sri Ramakrishnan. Over.
Subject you can put sustainability.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
So
God
much.
bless. Thank you.